Hello everyone, welcome to the English Echo. We're very happy you're here today. Today we're going to practice English together in a simple and relaxing way. I'm Sam.
And I'm Sophia.
We're happy you're here today.
Let's learn together. So today we actually have a really interesting journey to take. We are going to talk about travel and, well, specifically the airport. Because, you know, the airport is a place where many people start their holidays, but
it's also a place that makes people feel very stressed and worried.
Exactly, yeah.
Airports can feel like their own small cities. I mean, they have their own rules, their own police, and sometimes it feels like they speak their own language entirely.
Oh, totally. And, you know, when you are learning English, going to a big international airport can feel like a really big test.
I've noticed that too. Many learners feel that way. Everything moves so fast, and there are confusing signs everywhere.
Right. So today, our goal is to understand how this airport city works, just, step by step. And we are going to follow a real, very funny story of a traveler flying from the United States to the United Kingdom, landing in London.
Following a story is really the best way to learn. We will walk with this traveler from the very front door of the airport, all the way to the streets of London. And by understanding his funny mistakes, you will learn the exact words you need for your next trip.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So let us begin at the front door. When you walk inside a large airport, you usually see hundreds of people pushing big carts. And the very first place you must go is the check-in desk.
Right, the check-in desk.
So what exactly happens at this desk?
Well, the check-in desk is where you say hello to the airline staff. It basically means you are officially telling them, I am here and I'm ready to fly. And at this desk, you receive your boarding pass.
Okay, wait. I want to clarify something because many learners confuse a ticket and a boarding pass.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, because when you buy a flight online at home, you buy a ticket. But the boarding pass is, it's different. It is a small piece of paper or maybe a picture on your phone. That is your actual key to the airplane.
Exactly. The boarding pass is like your most important item. It shows your name, your flight number, and your seat number. It also shows your gate, which is the specific waiting area for your airplane. Without a boarding pass, you really cannot go anywhere in the airport.
Right, you're just stuck. And at the same check-in desk, you must also manage your luggage, your bags. So there are two main types of bags. One is called a carry-on bag, and the other is a checked bag. Can you explain the difference for us in a simple way?
Of course. So a carry-on bag is small. It stays with you the whole time. You literally carry it on the airplane and put it above your seat.
Okay, and the checked bag?
A checked bag is large and heavy. You give it to the worker at the desk, and it travels under the airplane in the dark.
Right. Which brings us to our traveler's story. So he was very excited about his trip to London. He wanted to be completely ready, so he actually packed his bags 2 full weeks before his flight.
Oh, wow. 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 whole weeks. And I mean, I always feel like packing too early is a pretty bad idea.
I agree. It seems like a smart idea at first, but it could be really dangerous. When you pack 2 weeks early, you just look at your bag every day and you start to think, maybe I need another sweater or maybe I need 3 pairs of shoes. Just keep adding things.
That is exactly what he did because he was going to visit friends in London. He wanted to bring them gifts. So he started packing many American snacks. He packed heavy boxes of cookies, big bags of chips, and just lots of candy.
Well, it is very nice to bring gifts for friends.
It is nice. But a large bag full of heavy snacks creates a big problem at the airport. Because when he put his large checked bag on the scale at the check-in desk, the machine showed it was overweight. Yeah, so I want to stop here for a second. What does overweight mean for a bag? Like, why do airlines care if a bag is just a little bit too heavy?
Well, the word overweight means the bag is heavier than the rules allow. And airlines care about weight because airplanes use fuel to fly.
Yeah.
Fuel is, the liquid energy for the engine, like gas for a car.
Right, okay.
And heavy airplanes need a lot more fuel. Since fuel is very expensive, they have strict rules.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. So if a passenger brings a very heavy bag, it actually costs the airline more money to fly the plane safely.
Yes, exactly. And because of this, they charge an extra fee.
An extra fee?
Right, they call it an extra fee or sometimes an excess baggage charge. It just means you must pay extra money right there at the desk. And if you do not want to pay, well, you must take things out of your big bag.
Which is what happened here, because our traveler did not want to pay the extra fee, so he decided to open his huge bag right in the middle of the busy airport floor.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and he started moving clothes, heavy boxes of cookies and candy, taking them out of the big bag and pushing them into a small carry-on bag.
That sounds very stressful. Usually the carry-on bag is already full of things you need for the flight. Did all those extra snacks actually fit inside his small bag?
Not easily. He put so many things in the small bag that he could not close the zipper.
No way.
Yes, he actually put the bag on the floor, sat on top of it, and pulled the zipper with both hands. And everyone in the airport was just watching him.
That is a very funny picture to imagine. But, it teaches us a very important rule for traveling, which is to pack light.
Pack light, I like that.
Yeah, pack light simply means you should only bring what you truly need. It makes moving through the airport much, much easier.
Definitely. So after he finally closed his bag, he took his boarding pass and walked to the next step. And this is the part that makes almost everyone nervous. He had to go through security.
Oh, security. Yes, security is where officers check you in your bags. They want to make sure no one brings dangerous items onto the airplane. The rules here can feel very strict and people talk very fast.
I always wonder why we feel so nervous at security, even when we know we are doing nothing wrong. Like, you stand in a long line and then an officer starts shouting symbol commands at you.
It is, because the officers are very serious. They have an important job, so they use direct commands. For example, a really common command is, please remove your laptop. And the word remove just means to take out.
Right. But why do they want us to take out our laptops? I mean, I always follow the rule, but I don't fully understand the reason behind it.
Well, it is because of the X-ray machine. Laptops have very large, dark batteries inside them. And in the machine, a big battery can block the picture. The officer cannot see what is under the computer.
Oh, I see.
So they ask you to remove it to get a clear picture of everything else in your bag.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, another common command you hear is take off your shoes or take off your belt. They want you to put your jacket and belt into a plastic box.
Yes, taking off your belt is very important. Belts usually have a piece of metal on the front, and when you walk through the security door, well, it looks for metal. If you wear your belt, the machine will make a loud noise.
Well, our traveler listened carefully. He removed his laptop, he took off his belt, but remember, he had to carry a very heavy, full carry-on bag, the one he sat on.
Oh, no.
Yes, and as he walked forward without his belt, his pants started falling down.
You are joking. That is incredibly embarrassing. What did he do? Did he drop his bag?
No, he refused to drop his bags. He grabbed his pants with one hand to hold them up, and with his other hand, he carried his huge, heavy bag, so he walked through the security door looking very strange.
That is so funny. But, even though that is funny, it shows why knowing airport vocabulary is helpful. If you understand take off your belt, you know what's going to happen next. You can prepare yourself so your pants do not fall down.
Exactly. So after you survive security and put your clothes back together, you enter the main part of the airport. This is where you find your gate. And as you mentioned earlier, the gate is the door to your specific airplane.
Right. When you arrive at the gate, you sit and wait. And finally, the staff will announce that it is time for boarding. Boarding is just the action of walking onto the airplane and finding your chair.
But sometimes people do not wait at the gate. Airports have many nice shops and restaurants. So our traveler decided to go shopping because he wanted even more snacks for the long flight.
More snacks. Well, shopping is fun, but you really must watch the clock. If you wait too long, you might hear a loud voice over the speaker saying, this is the final call.
Yes, I have heard that before. Final call for passenger Smith. What does final call truly mean? Like, why do they say it like it is a huge emergency?
Because it is an emergency for the passenger. Final call means this is your very last chance. Airplanes pay a lot of money to park at the gate, and they have a very strict schedule.
Oh.
Yeah, if they leave late, it causes problems for all the other airplanes. So they will close the door even if you're not there.
Wow. Well, our traveler heard his name and the words final call while he was far away in a shop, so he grabbed his bags and started running as fast as he could.
Running through a busy airport is very difficult, especially if your carry-on bag is incredibly heavy from all those cookies.
It was difficult. And while he was running, a bag of chips actually fell out of his bag and onto the floor. He looked at the chips, but he knew he could not stop. He left them on the ground and just kept running to the gate.
He made a wise choice. It is definitely better to lose a small bag of chips than to miss an international flight. I really hope he arrived at the door before it closed.
He did, thankfully. He was sweating and tired, but he walked onto the airplane and found his seat. And, well, while he is resting and flying across the ocean, I think this is a perfect time to rest our story.
I agree. Since our traveler is safely in the air, Let's take a peaceful grammar break. Many learners want to know how to talk about their travels when they return home.
Yes, choosing the right root tense can be kind of confusing. Like, should I use the past simple or should I use the present perfect? Let's explore this simply.
Sure. Let's start with the present perfect. We use this tense to talk about our life experiences. We use it when the experience is important, but the exact time is not important at all.
So if I want to tell you about a beautiful city I visited, but I do not want to explain the specific date or the year, I use present perfect. Can you give a daily life example?
Yes, absolutely. You can say, I have been to London. It does not matter if you visited when you were a child or if you visited last year. You are just sharing that the experience exists in your life.
Ah, okay. I have been to London. That is very useful. What if someone has never traveled on an airplane? How do they share that they have zero experience?
That is a great question. For zero experience, we just add the word never. You can say, he has never traveled to another country. It means from the day he was born until today, this action did not happen.
That makes sense. Never shows a blank page. So the present perfect is for general life experiences. But what if I want to tell a story about my specific holiday last summer?
If you give a specific time, you must change to the past simple. Words like yesterday, last summer, or in 2019 require the past simple. For example, you say, last week we flew to London.
I see. Because I said last week, the time is very clear and the trip is finished, so I cannot say, last week I have flown to London. I must say, last week we flew to London.
Exactly. And, you can mix them in normal conversation, too. First, you share the experience, like, I've been to London. Then you share the specific detail, I flew there last summer. They sound very natural together.
We want all of you listening to practice this today. Think about your own life and try to answer this simple question out loud. Have you ever traveled to another country?
You can say, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. And if your answer is yes, try to remember a specific time and say, I traveled there 2 years ago. Practicing out loud really helps your brain remember.
It really does. Well, now that our grammar is strong, let's return to the airplane. The flight is over. The airplane touches the ground in London. Our traveler is excited, but the airport journey is not finished yet.
Right, because when you fly to a new country, you cannot just walk outside and find a taxi. First, you must pass through the border. This step is called passport control, or sometimes people call it immigration.
And passport control can feel very scary. You walk into a large room with long lines, and in the front, there are officers sitting in small glass boxes. They wear uniforms and look very serious.
Well, it is their job to be serious. They must check every single person who enters the country to keep the country safe. They will take your passport, look at your face, and ask you a few questions.
When English is not your first language, talking to these officers can make your mind just go blank. It is very easy to forget simple words when you are tired and stressed.
That is completely normal. Everyone feels that way. The best way to prepare is to know the two most common questions they ask. The first question is usually, what is the purpose of your visit?
Okay, purpose means the reason. So why are you here? Should a passenger tell a long story about their family and all their holiday plans?
No, definitely not. Officers do not want a long story. They want short, clear answers. You can simply say, I am here on holiday, or I am here for business. Just one short sentence is perfect.
That's good advice. And the second question they almost always ask is, how long are you staying? They just want to know when you plan to leave their country.
Again, a short answer is best. You can say for 1 week or for 10 days. You just give the number of days or weeks.
Well, our traveler knew these questions, but when it was his turn, he walked up to the glass box and just panicked. The officer asked in a deep voice, how long are you staying?
Oh, no. Because he was nervous, his brain stopped working. Did he remember his short, clear answer?
No, he completely forgot how to speak normally. He looked at the officer and said, a few days, maybe a week. I don't know. Soon, thank you.
Soon, thank you. That does not make any sense at all. The officer must have wondered if the traveler was okay.
He did. The officer stared at him for a long time. It was a very quiet and uncomfortable moment. But finally, the officer stamped his passport and let him go. How can learners avoid saying something silly like, soon, thank you?
The secret is to just take a deep breath before you speak. Remember that the officer is just doing a normal job. Speak slowly. If you use short answers like 1 week, you have less chance of making a funny mistake.
Right. Keep it simple. So after passport control, you are officially in the country. But there is another stop right after it. This stop is called customs. What is the difference between passport control and customs?
Well, passport control is about you, the person. Customs is about the things in your bags. The customs officers want to know if you're bringing special, expensive, or maybe dangerous items into their country.
When you walk through customs, you usually see a sign. The sign asks, "Do you have anything to declare?" The word declare sounds like a very old, formal word. What does it mean here?
To declare means to officially tell the government about something in your bag. You see, countries want to protect their farms, their nature, and their economy.
Right. For example, I know you cannot bring fresh fruit or meat into many countries, and I used to wonder why. But it is because a piece of fruit might have a tiny bug inside it from a different country, and that one little bug could destroy the local farms.
That is exactly right. You also have to declare if you have a very large amount of cash or expensive goods you want to sell. If you only have clothes and normal things, you just say, "I have nothing to declare."
Well, remember our traveler? His bag was still full of American cookies, chips, and candy. When he saw the customs officer, he felt guilty. He panicked for the second time.
Oh dear. He thought his cookies were a big problem. What did he tell the officer?
He looked at the officer with big, worried eyes and loudly told the truth. He said, "I have cookies, is that bad?" He really thought he was going to be in big trouble.
That is wonderful. You know, customs officers spend their whole days looking for dangerous things. Having a passenger look so worried about carrying cookies probably made the officer's day much better.
It did. The serious officer smiled warmly and said, "Cookies are perfectly fine. Welcome to London." And our traveler felt a huge wave of relief.
This just shows that making a mistake is not the end of the world. The officers are humans too. And now our traveler understands what it truly means to declare an item.
Definitely. And there's only one final step. Before he can go to his hotel, he must find the large bag he checked at the very beginning of his trip. He must go to the baggage claim.
The baggage claim is a large room with moving metal machines. These machines are called carousels. They move in a big circle. The bags come from under the airplane and travel around the carousel.
You stand there with many other tired people just watching the bags go in circles. Everyone waits for their own color and shape. Our traveler stood and watched. He saw many bags, but not his own.
Waiting at the baggage claim can create a completely new kind of stress. You start to think, did they put my bag on the wrong airplane? Is my bag in a different country right now?
He waited for a very long time. Because his bag was so heavy from his early packing, the workers had put it at the very bottom of the airplane. So it was the very last bag to come out on the carousel.
He must have been so happy to see it finally appear. After surviving the overweight bag, the falling pants, the running, and the funny answers, his journey was complete.
He finally grabbed his heavy bag and walked out the automatic doors into the cool London air. His holiday could actually begin.
Let's look back at this journey for our listeners because we covered a lot of important ground today.
We really did. Let's put the main steps all together. First, you visit the check-in desk for your boarding pass. Try not to bring an overweight bag because fuel costs mean you will pay an extra fee.
Right. Next is security. Listen to the simple commands. Remove your laptop so the machine can see clearly. Take off your metal belt. Then you find your gate and wait for boarding.
And please, do not go shopping and miss the final call. When you arrive in the new country, stay calm at passport control. Use short, simple answers for the purpose of your visit. Then, walk through customs. If you only have cookies, you have nothing to declare. Finally, watch the carousel at the baggage claim, grab your bag, and enjoy your trip.
When you break it down into these small steps, the airport is not so scary. Knowing these specific words gives you power and confidence.
It does. It makes me think about traveling in a new way, honestly. The airport is not just a building for airplanes. It is actually the very first tourist destination of your trip. Before you even leave, you have to learn new rules, follow new customs, and speak a specific language. If you can navigate the airport, you can navigate anything on your holiday.
That is a really beautiful way to look at it. The airport is your first real test of exploring the world.
Thank you for listening to The English Echo.
Keep practicing English every day.
Small steps can make a big difference.
See you in the next episode.